Hey guys, if you have not watched my main channel video on Femhead, your girl's pregnant. It's weird to be making videos, like I just filmed that video today, and it's weird to be talking about. I'm actually 14 weeks and therefore my second trimester this Saturday, so 2 days because it's Thursday, but I'm filming next week's videos because I'm trying to get ahead of the game again. I've just been falling behind. This first trimester has been a dud. It's actually been great. I'm so grateful for it. I'm not gonna complain, but I was an unmotivated slug. Today, I thought it would be fun to sit down and talk about my first trimester and like what's been going on and symptoms I've had and that sort of stuff. I feel like I need to start because this is something that I did not learn until my sister was pregnant. Pregnancy is 40 weeks. You're basically given 2 weeks because it starts from your last menstrual period, the start of your last one. You're not pregnant at that point. The standard cycle, so from the first day of your period to when you ovulate, is usually around 2 weeks. If sperm is present and y'all's bodies decide to work together, become fertilized, that happens after ovulation. And then it's a whole like week or so until that little eggy poo, fertilized eggy poo, moves down and like embeds in the uterus. So you're given 2 weeks. So when I say 3 weeks pregnant, that means like a week after ovulation. I'm gonna start with like symptoms and stuff and just like other things that have been happening, and I have it all noted down on here. I found out at not exactly 3 weeks. I found out a couple days shy of my period, so shy of 4 weeks. But that doesn't mean things didn't start happening before then that I was like, this is weird. But I literally convinced myself so many times that I was pregnant that I just started taking symptoms with a grain of salt. And I'm like, that's really weird. I'm gonna write it down, but that doesn't mean anything. Like I have a whole other document of pregnancy symptoms I was experiencing during cycles that I was not pregnant. 3 weeks. Cycle day 20, I felt a sharp cramp that lasted 3 to 5 seconds on my left side after peeing. And I, in parentheses, said, implantation, question mark? Could have happened on day 20. Do I know? No, not really. Cycle day 21, I felt a bit crampy around lunch in my lower stomach. If I get cramps during my period, it's usually the first or second day of my period, and it's on my period, and it usually only happens for a day. And so getting cramps before the fact was weird. Cycle day 24, I felt like I looked bloated, but I didn't feel uncomfortable. I just felt like my stomach was sticking out, so I thought that was weird. Cycle day 25, I took a test to write off as like didn't happen this cycle, and it came back positive. And I also said I had a tiny amount of spotting for a few days, which gave me anxiety. I had trouble sleeping through the night, weird dreams that I remember, which is something that has literally carried through. I have remembered my dreams before in the past, but I have had such weird dreams while being pregnant. Lower back pain, it feels like a pinched nerve when I bend over. Could be from the race I worked, so could be from just like lifting stuff. Went to 1 cup of coffee a day instead of 2. So the first time I got pregnant, like I cut everything out. Completely caffeine free. You can have 200 milligrams of coffee. You can like look up charts of what that is. So I decided to have 1 cup of coffee a morning. It just helps to start the day. But then I end up like this cup of coffee is still this full and I won't drink anymore. Week 4. Cycle day 28 is when I told Michael. Cycle day 29 was when spotting stopped. I had more weird, vivid dreams. I still had back pain. I had headaches. I felt tired, but I wrote it off to not sleeping through the night. And my legs felt stiff and achy on cycle day 31. And that's kind of the last time I kept track by cycle days. Now I'm just gonna go kind of week to week. So week 5 was probably the worst week. I had a lot of anxiety surrounding having another miscarriage. I was scheduled for an ultrasound at 5 weeks, 4 days. I went, and when she said, well, I'd be surprised if I saw anything, I didn't freak out, but I was like, I don't want to do it then. So I got a Rogam shot, and my spotting that I was having again stopped completely, and I haven't spotted since week 5. Nipples started being more sensitive towards the end of the week. So this was different from when I first got pregnant last summer. It was my boobs I noticed first. This time it was my nipples. It felt like they were shards of glass. There were shards of glass in my nipples. For several weeks, like they're fine now, they felt like they were gigantic, first off, and they were so uber ultra sensitive and like I didn't want to wear a bra. That hurt. I didn't want my shirt or anything to touch against it. Like it hurt so bad. So week 5 is when my nipples started going cray cray, and they stayed cray cray for a while. Waves of nausea started at the very end of the week. Felt tired and unmotivated this week, which also just carried through. That was my most annoying symptom of the first trimester, was just how exhausted and unmotivated I felt. I took a step back on exercise because I really was just like afraid of pushing it. My anxiety definitely got the best of me. Right before I found out I was pregnant, I was doing my 30-day challenge, my morning challenge, where I was waking up at 6 every day. I was working out. I was meditating, I was doing all this stuff, but then I found out I was pregnant and I was like freaking out about miscarrying, and I like didn't want to squat. I didn't want to lift anything heavy. Like I didn't want to push myself too far, so I just completely stopped exercising. Slowly getting back into it like 2 days a week. It's not good, and I need to start exercising more because it's good for me and it's good for baby, but it all stems from week 5 and weird dreams still. So week 6, waves of nausea in the morning. Just need to eat small meals throughout the day. So this is when the morning nausea really started happening. But if I could get something small in me, I would be fine. Like I eat like 5 small meals a day because as long as I keep food in me, I'm fine. And then I said I had weird hip pain where my leg next to my groin on the front side. That has just kind of been sore and achy, but that could also be from lack of movement. I also said coffee doesn't taste good anymore, and it's much more about like the ritual. I love the process of like getting my cup of coffee and sitting down with like a warm cup of something to journal and to do my morning pages and to like sip on, even if it's not like super delicious, like whatever. Exhausted, like I need naps. I could go to bed early and wake up late. Trouble with energy and motivation, and yeah, it really just like sunk in and slapped me in the face. I would be like sitting and falling asleep. Like I would be at my keyboard and I would be like just tired that it was so hard to like have the energy and the excitement to do stuff. And I really didn't take that many naps because I felt guilty when I took a nap. Like I felt lazy, and so I was like, I'm gonna push through it. Like I'm just gonna suffer and be exhausted. I'd probably take like 2 naps a week, and by naps I mean like I would lay down for like 15 minutes, and that's all I needed. And so why did I not let myself have 15 minutes every day? I don't understand it. So week 7, I had my first ultrasound, and I said favoring stretchy, not tight pants, which is definitely carried through. My bump's tiny. Obviously, I'm only 14 weeks. Stuff's not fitting anymore. Like I do have stretchy stuff because I just like baggy stuff. Thank God. Jeans don't work anymore, and I'm over it. Week 8, feeling much more nauseous in the morning and black throughout the day. Tired, unmotivated, so freaking tired. Whenever people will be like, oh, how do you feel? My response is always like, tired, just exhausted. And then I said sick and bloated. Definitely in like those first couple weeks, there's not like, the baby's not big enough to do anything, but I would be bloated. So week 9 and 10, I said nausea at different points, either early morning or at night. Slept like crap, gassy. Ask Michael about that. Painful bloat at night sometimes. And this was when we were in Phoenix. I was just sleeping like crap. That was probably the biggest thing from those weeks. Tossing and turning, and then I was just tired, just really gassy. Just exhausted and gassy. Week 11, I said slept like crap, gassy, and weird dreams. Week 12, I said emotional as hell. So we went to this kids race in Arizona. Like something about it, like I teared up multiple times. I don't know if I was like thinking about, oh my God, someday this is gonna be me with my kids, like whatever. But like the weirdest things, I'm like, I could cry right now. It's so sweet. I had chest pain, tired still all the time. I had my first midwife appointment at 12 weeks. I got to hear the baby's heartbeat and everything's okay. Was told my uterus was nice and full. That was cool. I got a belly band from Target. Highly recommend. Like when you're in the in-between to where your pants don't fit and you're too small to wear maternity clothes, like maternity pants, get yourself a belly band, because then you don't have to zip your jeans up, you don't have to button them, and you just kind of put this thing over and it holds it up and it lets your like belly breathe and move, and it's just glorious, and you don't have a waistband cutting in. I wish I would have gotten one sooner, but, and I said weird dreams again. So week 13, which I am currently in as I'm making this video, I said feeling nauseous even after eating. It's not all the time. It'll be random. Like yesterday I felt great in the morning, and then I ate lunch and I felt like crap Yeah, this is something I've noticed, especially since getting back from Phoenix. And so I think it's partially to do with the weather, but I also think it's my hormones, is my skin has gotten so dry, especially around my mouth, red patch of dryness. And then I have like little red dry patches all around my face. It's just weird. Like I look back at clips I took from early on in pregnancy and I'm like, girl, you're glowing. Like I looked so good. My skin looked so good. Like my hair was shiny, and now I just feel like I look like a potato. Oh, I got a few zits where you could see that the pore was clogged. Like you could see either like the blackhead or the whitehead or whatever, but you couldn't pop it. Really frustrated. I was like, cool skin, cool. Be dry, irritated, zitty, fun. I got a sleeping mask, pregnancy pillow from one of my friends. That has revolutionized how I've slept. I slept so bad in Phoenix until the very last night. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try something. I remember my sister saying that when she was pregnant, she would like prop her sides up with pillows. So I'd wedge one behind my back and then I put one between my knees, and that would keep me kind of wedged into where I couldn't toss and turn. And that's when I started sleeping better. Oh, I said sweaty pits and body odor. Like I'll sweat, but it doesn't smell. Like it's a random occurrence for me to smell. I have stunk lately. Like I feel like I'll smell myself and I'm like, oh my god, my armpits. So anyways, things are happening. And then like the funniest thing of it all, we went to this movie the other night and it wasn't even that great of a movie. Like I don't recommend going to see it. No one died or anything. 10 minutes from the end, you know when you're being ridiculous but you can't stop? I was sobbing, tears streaming down my face, snot running down my nose, but I'm like trying to hide it in my sweater because there's a person a seat down from me, and Michael's sitting next to me, and he like looks over me and he's like, oh my god, are you crying? And I was like, stop it. And so he's cackling, laughing at me, and I'm laughing, but it's making me sob even more. The movie's finally getting to the end and I'm like pulling myself together. And then on this, like after the last scene, you know, text pops up on the screen and it's like, that was the last performance all he did with Stan, and Stan never went on to perform with anyone else, and this is when they died. I looked over at Michael, started again. I was like, this based on a true story, and I was like, ah! And he was like, oh my god, well if you had any concerns about like whether you're pregnant or not, like you're clearly pregnant. I've experienced like before periods before. I can tell I'm being irritable and irrational. That amount of like emotion, but also being aware of it, it was such a weird thing, but it was hilarious. But snot and tears and like audible sobs. It was great. So I'm really curious to see how that carries forward. That's the first trimester. Sayonara, like peace out, see you later. All in all, it was pretty chill. The most annoying thing was the exhaustion and the lack of motivation. I was like, just make it through this. It's gonna be okay. Like once these like months are over, it's all gonna go back and you're gonna be able to work. And like, I mean, I still worked and stuff, but I was just like not as productive. And I am normally a very peppy, jazzy, energetic, like I'm so inspired, I'm so creative and like getting stuff done. And I was just like, please leave me alone. Like I just want a nap. It was awful. We're moving on, we're moving up to the second trimester. And I'm so excited and I'm so ready. I'm also so excited for my belly to grow and to like wear cute outfits, but let's be honest, I'm probably gonna wear a lot of sweats still. That's today's video. I have lots of other video ideas, so just gear up, buttercup. I'm gonna start doing vlogs again because, to be honest, pregnancy was the reason I wasn't doing vlogs. For one thing, I was so exhausted and unmotivated that I literally was like, there would be days where I wasn't doing anything and I'm like, I can't vlog this is so boring. Like I was struggling to stay conscious. It was so hard to like vlog and like talk about like, cause all I was thinking early on was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. Oh my god, I can't tell anyone I'm pregnant and there's a baby inside of me, but I couldn't say anything and I was like neurotic about it. But now that I can like casually mention it, I can start vlogging again and not be so dramatic. So that's what I have to say. Thanks for watching. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Mwah!